SPconvo. SPconvo. Let's do it. Welcome back. Welcome back. Back on the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like we never left. Like we never left. See the title. Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo MVP Anthony. New legal team. Want to get into this. You know, there's a video with Austin Metcalf mom, Meghan Metcalf, speaking about Karmelo Anthony not getting a strong enough sentence. She feel that sentence is too light. But if you really think about this scenario, Karmelo Anthony is the MVP. When it's all said and done, he's the MVP. It don't get no better. Now, you got your opinions, you could have your discussions, you could talk about it later. But when you look at it, he's the MVP. The first person I want to bring up is Eddie Para, the one that lied on the stand and said he had no idea who Karmelo Anthony was. This is why I say Karmelo Anthony's the MVP. Because how could Eddie get on stand and say he don't know who Karmelo Anthony is, and he know that's his cousin, boyfriend? So Eddie Para's cousin, Karmelo Anthony, is her boyfriend. And the man got the nerve to get on stand and say he don't know him. So I thought about it. It's one or two reasons why Eddie said that. Because he don't want to get in trouble. Because Karmelo is hot. So at the end of it all, he gets off scot-free. Eddie Para. Eddie invited Karmelo to the tent. He introduced him to the guys, Austin and Hunter and whoever else was there. You can see Karmelo Anthony sitting down, and then you see people, gathering around him. As I said before, my first initial thought, I said Karmelo Anthony's a fool for bringing a weapon to attract me, because I thought about it as a parent. What if he'd unalive my child? But I thought about it. He didn't bring a weapon. That's a tool used to remove the dirt out the cleats. So apparently, there's a video that Eddie Para took of the whole scenario. The whole melee. The whole hoopla. Yeah, it's in Eddie's phone. So I guess instead of him being an accomplice, he chose the, I don't know, Karmelo and got off. Making Karmelo Anthony the MVP. Telling you, man, he's the MVP. And I'm going to keep saying those three letters, MVP. Because once I drop it, you're going to understand why. So you got Hunter Metcalf at the track meet. And then Karmelo showed up. That's when Eddie called Karmelo over to the tent. Then Austin comes behind. One of the brothers stepped up to Karmelo. Big husky guys, over 6 feet tall, 200, wide frame back. Within itself, a man 130 versus somebody 200 pounds, that's 70 pounds is a weapon within itself. So, Karmelo had to do what he had to do. He had to defend himself. That's why I say again, he's the MVP. MVP. Because after the situation unraveled, that boy took off. He was so afraid. He was scared for his life. If he wasn't scared for his life, why he took off like that? Karmelo Anthony was the most vulnerable person out of that whole ordeal. You can't take it away from him. He was the most vulnerable person on that track, underneath that tent, sitting on those bleachers. Let me get into the conversation of Meghan Metcalf. All my videos is fair use. I want to give a shout out to Willie D's podcast, the original content creator. Let's get into it. Take it back. So, as you see, as you can hear, 1 second, fellas. I'm having technical difficulties here. I'm trying to get my levels together. So bear with me.
Austin walks in and Hunter runs up to him and like jumps on his shoulders, which was kind of
Yeah, that's the typical.
it's
They're like
to
goofing
me,
around. Yeah.
to me, I'm not even gonna lie, like a little tear came to my eye because that was like the last like big interaction. And I was like,
Yep.
that's just a sweet moment. So that was at 9:47, 9:48, Hunter enters the tent, and then Austin follows. 9:50.07, Mello enters the tent. 9:51, Austin moves towards Mello. 9:52, the yellow poncho shows up. 9:53, Austin puts his hand on Mello, and then 9:54. So within 4 minutes. And I have broken that film down. I have watched it because
Austin put his hands on Mello. Okay.
I'm like, clearly we have gotten something wrong with what is being said. And we've been right all along. Like, I don't know if you've heard any, like, Sassy Veronica and I.
All right, so you heard, right? Austin, Hunter put hands on Karmelo, and Austin ended up passing away due to the situation. You can run it back. Run it back again. Let's just hear the audio part of it.
After Austin and Hunter and all the other guys that were there, that is absolutely true. You can see him walk up and sit down. So
you actually see his gray hoodie.
You see the gray hoodie, sweatpants.
When he takes his stride in the back, you could see the gray hoodie on the back. I don't know why people are arguing that still. It's really dumb.
So, Megan, I have watched that footage and I have broken it down timestamp by timestamp. And let's see, I have it right here. Austin walks in and Hunter runs up to him and like jumps on his shoulders, which was kind of.
Yeah, that's the typical. They're like
goofing
around. Yeah.
To me, I'm not even gonna lie, like a little tear came to my eye because that was like the last like big interaction. And I was like, that's just a sweet moment. So that was at 9:47, 9:48, Hunter enters the tent, and then Austin follows. 9:50.07, Mello enters the tent. 9:51, Austin moves towards Mello. 9:52, the yellow poncho shows up. 9:53, Austin puts his hand on Mello, and then 9:54. So within 4 minutes. And I have broken that film down. I have watched it because.
So you see, right? Sometimes when a person is overzealous, they don't mean to say what they mean to say, but they say it anyway. So she just admitted that one of the Metcalfs attacked Karmelo. And he said that. I told him to put his hands on me. He put his hands on me. People admitted it. I mean, the people that's talking to the moms admitted it. Now, of course, they're going to clean it up later. But the people spoke, time stamped. They investigated. Now, let's get into the fact that Karmelo got some new legal aid, some new help. And, it could mean what it can mean for him. Now, I don't know what it means. Hopefully it means he get his fair share. But, 1 second. He get his fair share. But, if that's not the case, if you don't get his fair share, he end up blowing that appeal. So all over for him. So let me see something real quick. Karmelo Anthony. this right now. Here you go. Fair use.
Legal team pro bono following his murder conviction and 35-year prison sentence for stabbing and killing Austin Metcalf. His new legal team writing, quote, "Our appellate team has been retained following the conviction to conduct a fresh independent review of the trial record. Our responsibility is to determine whether a legal error occurred and to ensure that every issue supported by the record is fully and vigorously presented on appeal. The appellate process exists for precisely this purpose." Project 21 author and co-chair Horace Cooper joins me now. Horace, he's bringing in heavy hitters from the NAACP along with a prominent appellate specialist. Will it work?
Well, it depends on what the goal is. If the goal is actually to get this sentence overturned, I think it's highly, highly unlikely. However, if the real purpose is to create racial friction and engage in a publicity campaign that creates the impression that here in Texas, people aren't able to get along well, and that we have major racial conflicts, that could be effective. You've got the Benjamin Crump team working here. You've got the Texas, the president, Gary Bledsoe of the NAACP. You got people here who are capable of using a platform to create a narrative. And that's why it's so important that the judge recently released some of the video from the trial so that people could see for themselves just how shallow the claims are that this trial was a miscarriage of justice.
Let's break down your claims in turn. Let's start with the law. They can't re-argue the facts on appeal. You just can't do that. That's not how appellate process works. And this judge, to your point, really ran a tight ship throughout this case, so there's not a lot of error potentially to attack there. So besides arguing that there were no black jurors, what else is there? Do you see a potential Hail Mary from his team?
No, this Batson challenge is really all that they have, but it gives them the ability to make regular pronouncements, talk in the public, and they may find some particular extraneous incident that they can use out of context. But you said it right. If we were sitting in my classroom, you'd get the gold star. The trial is already happened, and the appeals courts are only going to review the law. They're not triers of fact. You can't introduce new evidence, and the way this trial ended up being carried out, the judge was very careful to make sure that he didn't leave opportunities for this case to be set aside.
See? Set up. Locked in. Set up. It's right there. It's right there. You see it? The judge intentionally made it so nobody could come behind and get it done. Save this boy. It's intentionally. Sad, but true. Sad, but true. Because why else would they do that to him? Why else? And we're going to go back and we're going to look at this footage of, you know,
Hey, Dan.
you know, the Karmelo Anthony situation.
Public, it's first.
And here we go. Now this is what is used to clean out the, you know, the dirt from the cleats. Can't lie, it looks like a knife. But if it's sold as something that removes the dirt off the cleats, yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
First look inside the Karmelo Anthony trial. A Collin County judge made video and images from the case public Friday, including surveillance footage from the moments after the deadly stabbing and the knife used in the attack. Now, cameras were not allowed in the court, making this the first time a lot of this evidence has been seen. A jury convicted Anthony of murder in the 2025 stabbing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf during a Frisco track meet.
So why was that evidence suppressed? Why was anybody allowed to see that? Nobody was allowed to see that. Why? Because to the average person, it's a knife. To the track world, it's something for the cleats. Now I want to review the interview with Karmelo Anthony's parents. And this is the reason why he was the MVP. Most vulnerable person. As the proof is in the pudding. And if you look at it the way I'm looking at it, then you'll understand why. Look how the parents speak on his behalf. All across the board, man. He was vulnerable. All across the board. I don't care how you slice it. It's still going to be bread.
Anthony and Kayla Hayes sat down to break their silence and to let the world know how they're feeling as their son begins his 35-year sentence for murder. Despite what a jury found, his parents dispute their son ever wanted to kill Austin Metcalf.
My son is no murder. My son didn't intend to hurt anyone. My son was defending himself. And that's what hurt so bad.
His mother recounts the moment she addressed the jury and made her plea to them during the sentencing phase.
To have mercy on my son. That's what I told the jury. I know they had their minds made up already, so, I mean, really wasn't much I could say to change their mind.
Both parents fighting back emotions and tears as they described what they believe was a flawed trial.
We were delusional. We thought we was going to get a fair shake.
They claimed there were inconsistencies from the get-go, despite witnesses who took an oath vowing to tell the truth.
Everyone actually lied on the stand.
Everyone.
All of the witnesses' statements were inconsistent. All of them.
His father says the court of public opinion had made...
You hear that? All them young kids, whoever were the witnesses, they lied, man. Karmelo had no chance. Let me interject. Let me interject because I have to say something. Even I call Karmelo Anthony a fool for bringing a weapon to the track meet. But this was before I was informed that that tool is used to clean the dirt out their sneakers. So, my first initial thought was, he's a fool for bringing a weapon to the track meet because I thought that maybe my child could have been that victim, you know? My child could have been that child that never came back home. Because I would never let my child bring a weapon to school, to a track meet, to any outside venue. I would never let my child have a weapon at all. So for him to bring something to harm a kid, before I heard before I heard the whole story, I called him a fool. And then I started getting more information. I had to scale back. And now I'm scaling all the way back to the point of right now, he's the MVP of this whole scenario. And Hunter Metcalf, he's guilty for the rest of his life. He got to feel guilt for his brother no longer being here. And Eddie Para should be in prison, and his parents should be questioned why they raised their child to be an instigator, why they raised their child to be in a situation where he know that in the United States of America, white people have a dislike for blacks. And it's easy for him to get Karmelo Anthony set up just off the skin color thing alone. Because that's how I looked at it, and that's how I'm looking at it. Because if Eddie Para cousin is dating Karmelo, shouldn't you pair up with Karmelo Anthony since he's dating your cousin? When I say pair up, I'm saying let Austin and Hunter Metcalf know, hey, now he's a good man. He's a good one. Now he's dating my cousin. He's cool. Everything is good, man. He's cool. But nope. He put Karmelo Anthony in a box. And now Karmelo Anthony is literally in the box. You see, the parents is crying, especially the mom, because she lost her child too. And that's the hardest thing you could do, is lose a child. On both ends.
Listen to this fool here.
On both ends.
And he's wrong.
And to have that, I never experienced that, but to have your child no longer be in the house that you raised them in, that's heart-wrenching. Heart-wrenching, sorry. Karmelo Anthony parents said their life was threatened. Their life was threatened. He said the whole family life was in danger. Imagine you living in a world where by skin color, a person just like you, just for the skin color, don't know the context of your character, don't know how much knowledge you have about life, don't know if you can help them later on in a crisis situation. I mean, these people is flat out because the color of somebody's skin don't like them. Okay, so let's just look at it like this. To threaten somebody is a crime. Knowing you have the upper hand. Knowing that Karmelo Anthony, from what I heard, just moved to that part of Texas where it's predominantly Caucasian. I think 55% Caucasian or 44% Caucasian. No percent black. So the favor is in their hand. The favor goes to them. So when Karmelo did that, they ain't like that. It was an accident, but still, it was something that was a bad situation. It was an extremely bad situation. But to threaten a man and his wife and his kids, to make sure that you make sure you put fear in them, and to make sure they have to look over their shoulder for the rest of their life or the duration that they live in that community. That's I'm gonna say the word. I'm gonna say it. That is mean. And the lowest kind of mean a person could be is to want to unalive a man's whole family. The nerve. You see what I notice? When certain black people act a fool, the opposite team love it. When certain black people act cool, calm, and collective, the opposite team don't like it. And when you're vulnerable, the opposite team take advantage of that and want to tear you to shreds. And that's what they did to Karmelo Anthony. They tore him to shreds. He holding his head, but his life is over in the sense of the eyes of the United States of America. But for this young boy to go through all that and get his jail sentence and to deal with his prison sentence 12 days later, 14 days later, that's a lot. No support, no aid. Karmelo Anthony parents, they're young. They're young. So watch another video. Karmelo Anthony parents. Karmelo Anthony parents. A longer extension of the video of Karmelo Anthony parents speaking about the situation. Fair use, fair use. All my videos all the videos being played is fair use for educational, informative situations only. Let's go. There we go.
To me, number one was the all-white jury, but I was trying to be, like, all right, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, the truth is on our side.
At the sentencing hearing, the defense called only one witness on Anthony's behalf, his mother, Kayla Hayes.
What did you tell the jury?
To have mercy on my son.
What do you say to his grieving family?
It's unfortunate to where nobody wins. We've all been hurt by this. Everybody.
That poor boy is fixing to experience a life that I would not wish upon anyone.
Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff, called Anthony's sentencing bittersweet.
What it boils down to for me is this. Austin will never walk through that door again and never give me a hug.
The case drew national attention, prompting protests and support.
This, despite not being where the incident happened, everybody is brokenhearted here. But help us understand the jury selection process and
that's not what I want to show. Oh man, it's in the wee hours in the morning, at 4 o'clock in the morning. For one more thing. So for Karmelo Anthony to experience all those things, his parents being railroaded, almost $1 million for GoFundMe to help him fight his charges. It didn't work. Then you have these young people lying on him. That worked. Hunter started it. Austin get the bad end of it. Hunter got to deal with that forever. Hold your head, Karmelo. Society not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. They don't want you home. Hold your head. I'm about to sign off, ladies and gents. It's late. I just hope this was informative. Leave your comments. I'm out.